scene at Stockland Stadium. The lights are blazing, the crowd is coming in, and real sense of anticipation here. The World Club Challenge, the inaugural World Club Challenge, and Townsville getting a taste of big-time rugby league in the last couple of seasons. Tonight they get big-time international rugby league. The Rhinos making their way out of the dressing room. Magnificent facilities here in Townsville. And the Rhinos will have been enjoying the weather, quite tropical conditions. A little bit muggy, in fact, tonight, but good weather for football. And the Englishmen will find it pretty much to their liking as they come out now. They can't expect too much support. Gary Mercer, the captain, former New Zealand international, steering them very, very strongly. Paul Sterling on the wing, top try scorer for the club, 12 tries, second in the Euro League. The Leeds lineup, Damien Gibson, a former North Queensland player, Paul Sterling, Richie Blackmore, Phil Hassan, Francis Cummins on the wing. The 5'8" is Easton Harris, Ryan Sheridan at halfback, Gary Mercer at lock forward, and captain Adrian Morley, Anthony Farrell, second rowers, Barry McDermott, Wayne Collins and Martin Marcella in the front row. Now John Lomax is captain of the Cowboys tonight in the absence of Ian Roberts. Steve Walters not given the captaincy for this match. Johnny Lomax leads them out. Very popular here at home. They have the crowd behind them. Upwards of 20,000 or so people here tonight. Mark Shipway, a young member of the back line. Shane Vincent in his first run-on performance at fullback. Phillips, Shipway, Mahon and Warwick the three-quarters. Ian Durnaman at 5'8". Andrew Durnaman half-back. Martin Locke comes into the front row in the absence of Ian Roberts. Steve Walters, John Lomax, Peter Jones, Owen Cunningham and Kyle Warren. Surprisingly, Tyron Smith not included on the bench, so he will not be playing. New Zealand international not included by Tim Sheens.
That in itself, I think, is a very interesting feature for the match. Obviously, something's gone on during the week. Perhaps an injury may be used, but it's very unusual that you can leave a player of his standard away.
Let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, advanced Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing. Advance Australia fair.
The Australian anthem from the Cowboy Quartet.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen, send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen.
Plenty of spirit in the Leeds team shown there during the British national anthem. Now there will be a moment's silence here 12 months ago, next Thursday. Two Black Hawk Army helicopters based in Townsville collided.
Up at the High Range training course, two Black Hawks were down 1 year ago. If we could have 1 minute silence for the 18 proud young Australians that lost their lives.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
So the people of Townsville marking the memory of the 18 soldiers lost and the 2 Black Hawk Army helicopters crashed 12 months ago. The World Club Challenge, ready to go. Game number 3. The referee is Stephen Clark. These 2 teams will fancy their chances of making it through to the quarterfinals. Luke Phillips gets the game underway, kicking deep towards the goal line. First touch. Anthony Farrell brings it back.
Got him one, fellas. Here it is in hold. Hold, Cowboys.
The early exchanges are going to be very interesting just to see how the pace of the game settles down.
Back, fellas, back, and hold it.
Wayne Collins in a dummy half. He gets it out to McDermott. Barry McDermott, tough, rough customer. Martin Marcella, well known to Australian fans these days at Balmain, Illawarra and South Sydney. Gary Mercer, the captain. Former New Zealand international, played on the wing, better known as a winger or centre. Now Sheridan with the kick. Straight down the centre. Well gathered in by Vincent. Maybe a little nervous, Shane Vincent. Playing at full-back tonight. Reggie Cressbrook on the bench.
I think that's a move that probably surprised a lot of people. Cressbrook in his last 3 or 4 performances here has delighted the crowd every time he's touched the football.
Particularly under the high ball. Now Kyle Warren, a lock forward. Just inside Leeds half. Martin Locke. He's been back 2 weeks from a severe shoulder injury. Played in reserve grade. Comes into first grade for the injured Ian Roberts, who's struggling with a knee problem. Now John Lomax quickly targeted there by the defence, moving up smartly. Big 10 metres from Stephen Clark. Ian Durnaman looks for Scott Marn dummies. Ian Durnaman opens him up, has support, slips it away, and Adam Warwick races in for the try. Warwick down the right wing, but it was all Ian Durnaman, the big dummy, reminiscent of a dummy thrown last night in the Broncos clash by Krause.
There's plenty of emotion going on the game here. After the ball was spread wide, we saw the prop McDermott and Lomax involved in a scuffle, but it's Durnaman taking the ball the same way he has over the last couple of weeks. The important point that he does when he takes the football is he carries it in 2 hands all the way. Creates a little bit of doubt in the minds of the defender. Will he pass or is he going to run? It has worked out to perfect proportions over the last couple of weeks. Again, has confused the opponents, this time to get the home team off to a perfect start. Not a big boy, but carries the ball in 2 hands.
Adam Warwick, just 19 years old, scores his first try of the season. And what a way to do it after just 2.5 minutes of the match.
Well, too many guys, I suppose, can brag the first time they've touched the football in a game. They can post a 4-pointer. A couple of guys trying to get rid of some nerves. I suppose that's about the best way you can do it. Probably, strangely enough, though, as we see the referee warning the 2 props, just trying to create a little bit of doubt in each other's minds over who's the tougher bloke, who has the authority on the football field. But I guess the Leeds guys, while being stung by that 4 points, probably will know now that they're in a game of footy and they've got some emotion to react to.
Luke Phillips playing very well on the wing. This kick off the boot, fine, just swinging away at the last moment. 4 points to 0 in favour of North Queensland. Tim Sheens, the coach, Murray Hurst alongside him, very pleased with the way the game's begun. The backline defence found wanting from Leeds. Phillips restarts. Only moments after he did it the first time. To Farrell, bringing it back. Collins switches to Mercer up the blind side, finds some space. Scott Marn, the hair bleached blonde for this game. It's a little more than blonde.
Well, I'm not one to be critical about that. If they've got it, they can do what they like with it.
Sheridan throws a little dummy. Taken by Lomax coming across inside. Collins keeps it going. Morley striding forward. Young player with lots of potential. 5th tackle. Kick from Harris down to Vincent. Shows some speed, but he can't get away from McDermott.
That's 0.
Blackmore comes over the top. Warren Smith is with us on the sideline. Warren, conditions very calm.
They are at the moment. Warren, there was a slight hit of rain at the start of the game. You wouldn't believe the drizzle was coming down for a couple of seconds. It was almost as if on cue Leeds were being welcomed to North Queensland. A great start, though, for the Cowboys. Dean Bell, the coach of the Leeds side, as North Queensland dropped the ball on the break there. Scott Mann couldn't come up with it. Dean Bell looking for a contract extension at the end of 1997. Interestingly, he's one of only 3 coaches to survive from the start of the 1996 EuroLeague, including Tony Curry and Sean McRae. They are the only 3 surviving coaches from the start of last season.
Tough game to be in England. Peter Jones just finding a bit of a hole there. Almost set away.
Just let him go, all right? Don't take him out, just let him go.
Well, the referee just trying to warn the guys out there. Obviously, they're just trying to assert their authority on the football field. Mentioning Dean Jones is looking for an extension.
All of this, fellas, too quick.
Up too early as Morley was ready to go.
Mentioning he was looking for an extension, coach Dean Bell. Had a terrible year with them last year, but they've lost just one of their last 8 matches. Put them in second position in the EuroLeague ladder, and they look like a pretty good outfit.
Well, decoy runners from the forwards. They went to the backs who seemed to be flat-footed. I'm not too sure if everyone was set for the play then. They lost 15 metres. Gibson up against his former club. Sheridan. Hassan.
That's his third.
Defence saw him coming. 30 metres out.
That's 4. All the way, all the way.
Collins tries to scurry away, can't. Marcella hits it up, but they wait for him. No one moved to him. 15 out, last tackle. Harris pops it in. Warwick's waiting for it. Challenge is coming. Took it well.
Yeah, the kick is high enough. I thought there was a little bit of disappointment and confusion out wide. The winger and outside centre didn't really look like they knew whether the ball was...
Blood bin. Off you go. No, it's not all right. You got blood. Get off. Just hold. Off, right off.
Just trying to assure the referee that he was okay. I can tell him they don't always listen to a player on the field.
Hang on, we're going to wait for him to get off.
And there's more than a dash.
Wayne Collins, the former Canberra, St George and Crushers player. Played in 2 grand finals with the Saints in the early 90s.
They're sending a sub on, Steve Richards.
No one's coming out to replace him. We've got 4 men on the bench.
Okay. We're going to wait for the reserve.
Finally, it's Andy Hay coming out. The blood bin doesn't count as one of the 6 interchanges.
Cowboys, pick the ball up. That was his first.
The Cowboys have to hit it out from their own territory. Lock met quickly and stopped. Cunningham.
That's 3. All the way, all the way, all the way.
Jones. With Mann outside him.
That's 4.
Peter Jones having a very strong season. Lapsed a little last week. He'll be looking for a strong performance tonight. Lock. Tackle by Mercer. 5th tackle. They could run it. They decide to kick. They had plenty of men out wide unmarked. Gibson picks it up.
That's 0. North Queensland.
Damien Gibson played 31 first-grade games for North Queensland. The Cowboys only starting in the competition in 95. Marcella.
Pretty obvious straight away that the Rhinos aren't really interested in taking the rucks up the middle. They're trying to attack the edge of the ruck around about the 5'8" area. I probably believe that they're up against a little bit bigger front row.
Harris stepping his way upfield. Forced back inside. Good work by Morley. And he had Sheridan backing him up. Blackmore gets rid of it now to his centre partner Hassan. And he's running well. He's one of the most improved players in the EuroLeague. Phil Hassan. 5th tackle, 30 out. Harris. Up high centre field, coming down on the 20. Comes off Blackmore.
Offside. You're in offside position. Wait till they're all behind you. Just wait.
And Warren, I can tell you it hasn't been much of a homecoming for Wayne Collins. He's currently laying on the rub-down table in the medical room, having a handful of stitches inserted into that head gash.
Right in the centre of his forehead by the look of it. The Cowboys with the tap just short of halfway.
Got him one, Timmy Leeds. Here you go.
Lock plays it back. Cunningham played prop forward
Got him,
Queensland in the recent tri-series at lock tonight. Back in the second row, lock forward position where he's more familiar. Lomax may be targeted by Leeds. There's a man to stop. Once he gets forward, the team really goes on the attack. Shipway steps nicely. Blackmore hauls him in. 20 out. Stretched across the paddock, North Queensland. Ian Doonerman finds Vincent. Well tackled by Harris. Gets it away to Ian Doonerman. Doonerman downfield. Looks inside. Great cover. One tackle to go. Good work by Morley in cover defence. Scott Mahon goes himself. Can't get there.
Well, I'm surprised.
As he caught it.
Well, he's the referee there, Stephen Clark, yelling out as he caught it what that was all about. There was a crowd, a little bit of disappointment from the crowd. They believe they should have got North Queensland a penalty as the ball carrier appeared to be caught before he actually took the footy. Clark mentioning, though, he thought it was right on line. What it did, more than anything else, was save 4 points.
Marcella plays it. Solid defensive work so far by the Cowboys. Harris couldn't get through. Sheridan ducks out of dummy half.
That's fine.
They see him get into dummy half a little more often, the half-back. Harris with the kick on the last tackle. It's deep. It's way over the head of Shane Vincent. The fine kick by Yeston Harris. Great Britain, 5'8". Played 5 tests last year against France and New Zealand. Warwick, try scorer. Driven back by Morley and Mercer. 4-0 to North Queensland. Early try scored after just 2 minutes. Unloaded. A lot of traffic by Locke. And Steve Walters upended.
No picking up and turning. There's no picking up and turning. It was physical, all right? You're right. You can't pick up and turn him, all right? Okay? So right out.
Farrell, the tackler. Just need to have another look at it. Here we go.
There's where the referee claims is the real problem. I don't believe Farrell was the problem there. He simply picked him up to drive him backwards. One of his teammates tended to grab his shoulder and turn him around a little bit. Of course, there has got to be one rule made with the dangers involved with spinal damage to come from that. They've got to stick by him, whether it's disappointing to have a penalty against you or not.
The Cowboys go on the attack, 30 out. Andrew Doonerman picks up Cunningham. Pibbit coming left. Peter Jones. Tackled by Hay. McDermott's down on the ground. Away go the Cowboys, taking advantage of the extra man. Inside the 10 now. Ian Doonerman. Off to Vincent, chiming in. Runs out of room though. Plenty of defence out there that time. Hassan pulling them across to the blind. Ian Doonerman, or Andrew Doonerman it is, I should say.
It was plucked fairly well out of the air to save a little bit of a dangerous situation, but they're in a little bit of strife at the moment, Leeds. You've got their test prop, Barry McDermott. He is absolutely snoring at the moment. Had a head clash with one of his teammates. Very important in this set of 6. They've got to try and settle down a little bit. Just try and gain...
Blood Ben. Yeah, it's got to come to me. Yep.
And it's for Barry McDermott, who he just mentioned a few moments ago. He clashed in. Oh, boy, I tell you what, there's some thread work going to go on here tonight.
They won't have a front row left soon.
Get that sewing machine in, I tell you. The local shopping centre could sell them.
Jamie Matthew comes on. Another former North Queensland player. Had a stint with North Sydney and the Gold Coast as well. Here he is, Matthew. Harris turns it inside. Morley loses it. Jones has it. Kyle Warren tries to burrow through. Lock over the advantage line. Runs at Matthew. Cowboys in good field position again. Cunningham. Steve Walters. Dangerous from dummy half.
Very short on this side of the field.
Andrew Durneman flicks it out to Lomax. He's strong. He's lost it though. And Matthew has it.
I thought they took the wrong option there on that occasion. They had 5 attackers against 3 defenders. Took a short ball. Did Andrew Durneman, dropped it in.
Too long. Too long.
Took the...
John, leave it to me.
Andrew Durneman dropping the ball into Johnny Lomax. I thought if they had shifted the ball out wide, they would have been a bit better chance.
And as you alluded to, room at the moment, Wayne Collins is still on his back on the rub-down table, having a heap of stitches inserted into that head wound. As you said, they're using plenty of thread on him, and Barry McDermott is standing alongside him, waiting to get his turn.
I think the Cowboys have been complaining about the ball being stolen, but the referee is telling them he'll have the whistle in his hand and he'll make the decisions. Here's Harris. And he gets it away well. Sheridan breaks upfield. Good running, good stepping. Turns them inside out, still going. Is there support for him? Ran away from them. Farrell to play it, or to go to dummy half, 15 out. Harris looks wide. Mercer. Short on the left, the Cowboys. Leeds too slow to play the ball. Matthew should get rid of it if he's not fast enough. Morley goes straight through them, held by an ankle. Harris comes back to Sheridan. Farrell gets himself onside, did well. 5th tackle. Hassan. Harris kicking across field, and it's intercepted, you'd have to say, by the Cowboys. Coming in nicely was Phillips. Now, Durneman pops a high tackle.
Number 11 and 20. Number 11 and 20. 220. Is the bloke? Yep. Okay. Too high, okay, get him down. You've had a couple earlier, okay, we can let you go. You get him down, all right, stay him last.
Warning obviously coming from the touch judge on that occasion. Ian Durneman wearing one right on the chin. Just adjusting the mouth guard, making sure it was in place. Doesn't worry him too much. He's a tough little critter and does very well.
He did duck into it a little, but Adrian Morley has a reputation for occasionally going high. They go blind with Peter Jones. Mann coming up alongside him. Glenn Murphy's come on. He has another charge. Ian Durneman. Cunningham. Cowboys once again down the end of the field that they want to be. Inside to Murphy. Murphy shows some pace. Still going. Reaches out. Glenn Murphy. Tremendous determination to score the try. And the referee is going to check
the corner pad, the goalpost pad in the way. Man couldn't see the ball.
Well, and guess who threw the pass to get him in there? Andrew Durneman again. Just 90 seconds ago was worrying about the shape of his jaw.
Look at Murphy go. Tremendous work. That's a try.
Well, the referee calling that the rather thick goalpost pad was in the way. He wanted to make sure that it was down. Sponsors of that goalpost pad were pretty happy with it.
Tremendous work by Glenn Murphy. He's just come on the field. He's handled 3 times in that set of 6 and finishes it off scoring a try.
Yeah, it went out to Andrew Durneman. He was the guy that took the ball wide. It looked a little bit different as he was second plays out wide. Looked a bit strange that he opted to go back in, but he beat 2 or 3 men. A little bit strange there that Jamie Matho just decided to get across as quickly as he probably could have. And that's the real difference between the games Australia v England, I believe, is just the speed that the players come across from the inside.
Luke Phillips converted the try from right in front. It's the Cowboys 10, Leeds 0. Andrew Durnaman involved in both tries. Gibson brings it back and he runs around Matthew. Wasn't a shepherd, but there's been a little bit more obstruction, it might have been. Sterling hasn't seen the ball yet.
Pretty good, both of their wingers. They're running a second and fourth in the Euro. They can finish off a movement, but as you mentioned, they're not seeing a hell of a lot of the ball at the moment. This is where most of the play has been, this end of the field.
Hay. Matthew quickly over the advantage line, makes some territory. Still short of halfway, fifth tackle to Harris. Andrew Durnaman was closing in on him. He finally gets the kick away, but it's not a good one. Harris chased there by first Durnaman and then Murphy. Richie Blackmore muscling the ground. It was Vincent, the fullback, on the wrong end of it. Kyle Warren steps off the right foot. Mercer, a hard-working defender. Steve Walters out of dummy half, flicks it back. Durnaman to Lomax. They're all proving hard to put on the deck. Cunningham. He's getting faster with age, Owen Cunningham. 20 metres out. Andrew Durnaman to Vincent. A little shimmy and he breaks away from Hassan. Gets it back. Play on with Scott Marr. Now's the last tackle. Ian Durnaman calls for it. Gibson comes forward, knocks it on. Play on with the Cowboys. Ian Durnaman away to Luke Phillips. That's a fair try. Made by the Leeds fullback. Luke Phillips scores. He's having a fine season. That's his sixth try. Richie Blackmore.
Well, the play came out. I thought it was basically a try that was presented to them on a tray. No need for the hand to go up from Blackmore, which stubbed the ball down. The winger was standing in perfect position to try and grab the ball, Paul Sterling. All the hand did was basically put it up into no man's land and give the opportunity for some of the Cowboys guys to get in there and put plenty of pressure on. They managed to do that.
And Luke Phillips did very well to get back into an onside position. He was actually over the goal line and ran backwards. 6 tries, 78 points. Came up from Canberra following Tim Sheens. This is a difficult kick for him, though. What a start for North Queensland. Way out to the right. That's a poor kick. Didn't hit it at all well, but it's 14-0 to the home team.
Well, this is where the pressure really is going to be put on the Leeds team. They know that they're doing it a little bit tough. They're under a lot of pressure. 14 points. Probably if they've got to take one bit of confidence out, they've got to remind themselves that they've got themselves into these error positions. It hasn't been anything from North Queensland, which has basically outplayed them.
Interesting to check the statistics. It just verifies what the dominating field position. They have been in Leeds half for 14 minutes of the game, and Leeds down the other end only 7 minutes. Play on as Leeds give it back to the Cowboys. Cunningham. In fact, you'd say it's been more than just in the Leeds half. They've almost been camped inside the 30. Murphy to the 20. They're hungry, the Cowboys. They know there are tries on offer. They want them. Andrew Vincent, he held it back perfectly. It comes back once more to Durnaman. Marcella standing over him. Ian Durnaman Poor pass, pulled in well by Lomax. A little bit of a scuffle.
Against you, you go on with it. You get right out of it. Get right out of it.
Gary Mercer frustrated by that decision.
Yeah, I think he had a little bit of frustration on board before the referee blew his horn as well. It was something I think Johnny Lomax probably had a little bit to do with it. He decided that he wasn't all that happy. Just decided to push Mercer away a little bit. But they just can't afford to keep making the mistakes in their own territory. It wasn't just a penalty that's going to become so expensive to them. Of course, they dropped the ball on the third tackle. Harris was the guy that took it just 30 metres out from their own line. They should have been just looking for 2 or 3 more settling plays and then to kick it as far downtown as they could. Unfortunately, it's just going to be another 2 points on the scoreboard.
Well, it won't be. Off the upright, still a chance. Jones comes hurtling through and makes the tackle on the airborne Rhino and pins them in the in-goal area. Cummins came up with it, but not for long and not very safely.
Well, the goal kickers obviously heard me saying 2, decided he wanted 4 instead.
The penalties are running 4-2 to North Queensland.
This is the stage of the game where we'll start looking for Steve Walters as well, one of the best dummy half runners in the game. A massive drop kick, puts it right down. It was exactly what the Rhinos were looking for. Walters at this stage will try and look for a little bit of tired defence. If the game's been going a bit over 25 minutes, he'll be looking for some of the players to slowly come off the ground where we just have one marker. That's when he'll decide to take off.
Wally, both Wayne Collins and Barry McDermott back on the field. Wayne Collins in the headgear has had upwards of a dozen stitches inserted in that wound.
Kyle Warren opens them up and he's only 6 metres out. They need a quick play the ball. Leeds trying to get back. Steve Walters burrows away. Pass comes out from Durnaman and it will be another try for the Cowboys. And it's Glenn Murphy in for number 2. Selective passing. Beautiful work by the Cowboys after the break made by Kyle Warren. They're pouring through the holes in the Leeds defence.
Through the holes, and that's exactly where it happened. It was a wonderful move that they put on, opening up huge holes. Again, not moving across in cover defence is what Leeds found so expensive. Obviously, just impossible for them to get back when under so much pressure. Steve Walters sucking in 3 or 4 defenders. A nice wide pass. Really brought Eston Harris out of the line. I don't think he'd be too happy the way that he got sucked out of his position at that stage. He's a guy that's been regarded as one of the most exciting prospects to come out of Great Britain in the last 30 years. Having a look at his defence on that occasion probably won't back that up too much. But a 20-point gap to the locals. Excites the crowd, hasn't done too much for the Leeds boys. Really must be imperative now that they just don't turn over any more possession. They're choking themselves.
The try converted and it's 20-0 to the Cowboys. And it's a benefit game for the Durnamans. If it's not Andrew Durnaman throwing the passes for a try, it's Ian Durnaman. That was a pearler. And that is really on the end of it, having a field day. As Glenn Murphy's only been on the field about 10 minutes, he scored 2 tries.
Yeah, I think we could probably get a close-up of that football and have something on it to say, here, do something on it. Not too many guys want to run with the ball.
Still 0.
Loose handling. The first pass, or the first time the ball came forward, but it was knocked out according to the ref.
Next one.
Wayne Collins in that headgear. All strapped up around the wrists and the head. Just needs the gloves on. Mercer working hard, trying to turn the tide. Blackmore flings it to Sheridan. McDermott. Another player back from the blood bin. Sterling. 40 metres out on the last tackle. Sheridan runs it to the blind side. He had to kick because he only had Blackmore with him. But it is a fine kick.
And that's the best set of 6 tackles, I believe, they put in the match. We saw them dragging the ball away from their own line only 60 seconds ago. On the 3rd tackle, the ball went to ground. A touch in flight. Saw the referee restart the tackle count. And they decided to do a little bit of running, and it came from their experienced players. Gary Mercer made a fine break on the closest side to camera, and then Barry McDermott just decided he'd show his teammates what it was all about, running with the football and really digging his heels in and having a go.
This shows the importance of Wayne Collins to this team. He's a good distributor from dummy half, and no doubt he does lots of work in there from the marker position.
Got him, turn! He's wide open, hold.
Murphy. He's been with the Cowboys since '95, so he's one of the originals. Not that many survivors. Kyle Warren went himself, couldn't go through. Peter Jones recovers. There was no dummy half. Steve Walters is there as a runner. Last tackle. They could run it left if they choose. Andrew Durneman will kick instead. Torpedo down towards Gibson. He allows it to bounce. No harm done. Could have brought it back, though, on the zero tackle.
Well, there's obviously a few bob up on the Man of the Match award tonight. The Durneman boys are the ones that are going to figure in the voting at the end of the game. Andrew's had a fine performance so far. Taking the correct option there. He could have ran the football, stopped him to give his players a little bit of a rest, kicking down to a period of the field where there were no Leeds players at all. Even if the ball hadn't have gone out, they would have gained probably 40 or 50 metres in territory.
Not a lot of confidence in the way Gibson allowed it to bounce, though. You'd rather see your fullback attack the ball and come back strongly. Mercer from the lock forward position. Almost a misunderstanding, but Morley is there finally to straighten it up. Now Farrell steps off the left and crunched through the tackle of Cunningham. Harris, a bit of a hospital pass in the direction of Blackmore, and Scott Mann racing up.
Well, I thought that pass was fairly indicative of just what's going on for the English boys at the moment. They're just hoping somebody else outside them will be the fellow that is doing all the work without being... It will sound like they're trying to bag them too much. Each player's got to dig his heels in and decide to have a run himself.
Mann works the move, and it comes back to Durneman, out to Vincent. Luckily on to Phillips, back to Vincent. Quick hands. Handling errors running 5-2 against Leeds. Andrew Durneman off his right foot this time.
Oh, and he's sniffing around, isn't he? He's just waiting for another gap.
That's the thing, they're so hungry, the Cowboys. They just know there are tries there to be had. They all want a piece of the action. Lomax runs at Collins, slips it out the back, should be play on. Dived on by Walters. Andrew Durneman opens it inside for Jones, and Jones goes over the line. He shrugged off 2 tackles. The strength of Peter Jones, that inside pass. The Leeds defence is not covering up the middle. They're being fooled time and time again by this man.
Yeah, guess who's thrown the pass again? But we've mentioned it probably 5 or 10 times now. The defence on the inside is just plain lazy. They're not moving across. Their outside defence is doing fine. Durneman's just carried the ball again in 2 hands, offered the opportunity. Peter Jones running onto the ball, and to be very honest, it was a pretty ordinary defensive effort to try and stop that tackle. Gee, the way it is at the moment, that's 24 points to 0 against the Poms. And obviously think Coach Tim Sheens has taken them for a motivational video and watched the cricket last night.
Luke Phillips, they're all right in front for him now. This is a lot easier. The points, it's an avalanche in the first half here. 26-0, and we've still got 8 minutes left. Peter Jones, Bitter and Turner from the Tully Sugar Mill scoring his 2nd try of the season. Jones is a North Queensland boy through and through, born in Proserpine. Spent plenty of time in Tully. Gibson hands it off to Farrell. He didn't look all that keen about bringing it back. Now he accelerates. Mercer, one man who does want a piece of this game. He's working the house down in attack and defence. Sheridan, nice ball. McDermott on the fly. Good work, back to Blackmore. That was great play. McDermott really showing some pace and strength. Showed why he has played Test football back in '94 against the Kangaroos. They go wide now. Harris can run the football. Fifth tackle, 32 metres out. Sheridan steps easily away from Durnaman, but he runs into Murphy. Kick is high. Vincent takes it well. And Shane Vincent shows he can catch a bomb just as well as Reggie Cressbrook. Warwick across from the far wing.
A little bit of a spring in the step. Both fullbacks that fill the role. Vincent on that occasion deciding to jump. There wasn't a real lot of pressure on him. I thought the Leeds fellas probably could have got through a little bit earlier and jumped up to make the task a little bit more difficult. They do look like they gained just a fraction more confidence after that gap.
You kick and lost it. You lost control of it.
I think the one great point that out of that break was Barry McDermott's speed. He hit the hole perfectly. The disappointing part was the thing that as Barry McDermott decides he's going back to donate a little bit more blood into the medical room.
Just wait for the sub to come on, guys.
Is it the same cutback? That could be the eye instead of the forehead. He's in the wars.
A nice bump. You're wondering what the hell's he out here in Australia for shortly. But I thought they did very well to get McDermott into the hole there. The disappointing point, Warren, was he didn't have any support. They should have had the outside centres or the wingers there simply to come up. There was only one man to beat, and it was a certain try.
They've got the ball from the scrum, and Harris runs it wide and loses it on the first tackle.
Well, he's claimed that the ball came off the North Queensland.
Feet loose.
He lost it.
Well, it did go forward off a North Queensland hand, I think, but after it came forward off the Leeds hand.
His right hand doesn't know what his left hand is doing.
Back.
Standing very deep in attack and running the ball from the scrum. That's confusion.
Well, the holiday is over for Leeds. We saw a few of the boys in the pool this afternoon just relaxing and enjoying themselves, but with blood pouring from foreheads and drop balls going down and points being scored against them. The holiday is definitely over. This is a war zone instead. Matthew charges up the blind side.
Too long. He didn't make any attempt at all. He just crawled over the top of it. You've got to go to the side. You've got to go to the side. Mate, he crawled over the top of him. No, he's got to roll to the side. You can't crawl over to the top of him.
He did very well, John Lomax, on that occasion, going in and asking the referee what was going on. But what he's done more than anything else for his side has given them another 30 seconds to get their defensive line ready.
Too early. No, he's not. Too early, John.
Moving off the mark too early. Bonus penalty. And once again, Leeds decide not to take 2 points. They know they need a few tries. Blackmore jumped behind Hassan. Could have been a penalty. Wasn't. Farrell. Only 8 metres out here. They need a try. They need to get back in this game. Wayne Collins goes for it. Twisting over the line. Could have got the ball down.
He's there.
That's a tremendous try by Wayne Collins. Should have been stopped, but he kept forging for the line.
Well, you've hit the nail on the head with both points. He should have been stopped, but of course he is a very experienced dummy half runner, Wayne. He's been on that position probably 150 to 200 times a season. The best thing he did about it was he stayed low. Didn't stand up to his full height. Did very well. His strength in turning around and beating John Lomax was one of the defenders he managed to get around.
Peter Jones was the other.
Yeah, this will give him a little bit of confidence. 2 penalties given them a little bit of assistance in getting to this end of the field, and of course that's the thing that we've been mentioning the whole half. They just haven't had the opportunity to get up this end of the field and do their attacking.
Easton Harris, 5th highest point scorer in the Euro League, puts it through. Leeds have broken their duck. They're on the board, and they're not out of the game by any means. It's 26-6 in favour of North Queensland.
Warren, good news for Leeds getting on the board for the first time in this game. Bad news, though, for Barry McDermott. The tape is being removed after he had 4 stitches inserted in that initial head cut. Now he's having more thread to a cut to the eyebrows. Right now, he'd wish he was back in Leeds.
Oh, you're starting to feel like a sugar sack, surely.
I have to leave peepholes in the bandages.
We are in North Queensland.
Lomax runs back, targets Morley, who stops him. Only 2 minutes left in this half, and the ball's down. I was about to say it'll be a very important 2 minutes just for pride to build for the second half. Instead, now Leeds have a chance to put another try on the board. Morley gets to 12 metres out.
Too long. Miles too long. Hey, go, 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 go.
John Lomax doesn't get away with it, talking to the referee this time. It comes out to Blackmore. On it goes to Sterling. Sterling for the corner, and Sterling's in. Paul Sterling can score a try.
There was an excellent piece of chip-on play in this movement, Warren. It looked like it was just one of those backline movements that had gone wrong after the pass came in behind.
They spent too much time arguing, North Queensland.
They sure did. Sheridan put the ball in behind Richie Blackmore, but it was a terrific example of how to rebalance yourself once he was off his step. There it was, over the top of the defender, tipped it out, and very smart play from the winger, giving himself extra room and space. Decided to take the play in. So
You have been for the whole 35 and took the last couple.
well, 3 penalties going against the Cowboys that John Lomax not too worried about initially, but I suppose when there's 4 or 8 or in particular 10 points on the end of it, it becomes more expensive.
Now, this is not an easy one for Harris. Just feet in from the touchline. But they're all going to count. Very important. Bring it around nicely. But, oh, just missed. So close. And they're well and truly back in this game. 26-10 in favour of North Queensland. Just wondering whether Luke Phillips, the winger, he came in on Blackmore. Maybe he saw Blackmore start to juggle and was drawn in. Let's have a look here.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what it was all about. Once he saw that ball juggled, he probably thought that the job of containing him was going to be made a little bit easier.
Just 8 seconds left. Time to close it down for the Cowboys at this end of the field.
Get him up, jump forward. That's fine, guys, that's fine.
The final tackle of the first half. The last 5 minutes giving us an indication that this game is not going to be a whitewash. In fact, could very much be a contest. North Queensland giving away a couple of penalties. And Leeds suddenly going right on the attack and making them pay.
Well, a little bit of a spring in the step of the Leeds boys. They jogged off the field at half-time. You could probably see a little bit of the facial expression on some of the Cowboys. Steve Walters in particular, while he's not probably throwing things away, would be very disappointed as to letting the Rhinos back into the match. If anything, though, I probably think that those 2 tries have helped Tim Sheens. I think his job would have been a little bit more difficult. Trying to say to his guys, look, you know, you're 20 points in front of the game of footy, and we've got to go out there, and he'd be telling guys that old tale about you've got to go out there and play the way you did in the first 40, but it's a little bit more difficult when the side you're playing aren't up to their full potential.
Well, they had a brilliant first 35 minutes. Just the last 5 minutes of North Queensland lapsed. John Lomax sitting down, having a good rest.
They sure are, and I wrote down some notes at the start of the game about the North Queensland team. Their real problem has been the last 8 to 10 minutes in each half. Right in the game until all the matches until then, and it's been in both halves, not just the 70th to 80th minute. The game, of course, against the Cronulla Sharks last week, they came down and were beaten with 9 minutes to go.
This is where they've needed the mops. This has been like a mass unit in this dressing room, with stitches being applied left, right and centre. For what it's worth, they haven't had to use too many interchanges in the first half because they had blood bins aplenty. The Cowgirls are back out there. So it was 5 tries to 2 in the first half, and it's North Queensland leading the visitors' Leeds 26-10.
Players at the moment get out there. He was a very emotional player, New Zealand skipper. He relied heavily on teamwork. He probably didn't have some of the brilliant skills that players like Steve Renouf or the Meningas had, but he worked very, very well being part of a team player. You can see that his boys are coming out here at the moment. They've got plenty more confidence on board than they did around about the 30-metre mark in that half. And there's the guy that's probably responsible. We've called him 2 or 3 times as to he was the guy that was running up and decided to lead by example, Gary Mercer. There's another that has been in this same situation a number of times, Wayne Collins. He was probably going to rely on, I believe, 3 or 4 players. The front row guys, McDermott and Collins, probably Marcelo if he gets on there, and Mercer himself leading by example.
You can see Mercer revving up the forwards, and who is he particularly asking for a big effort from? Barry McDermott. He was one player who busted the line, and when he did it, it was quite explosive. Leeds only broke through North Queensland's defence twice, whereas the Cowboys had 6 line breaks. Calmer look on the faces of the Cowboys as they come out, full of confidence. Steve Walters making a couple of characteristic bursts from dummy half in the first 40 minutes. Nearly got over the line a couple of times. But John Lomax, one of the players who's giving them plenty of go forward. Martin Locke early on, Peter Jones, Kyle Warren, they're all doing their bit. Owen Cunningham. They were getting just enough momentum. I wouldn't say that they were forcing Leeds back at a rate of knots. They were getting just enough momentum to give the Durnamans something to work with. So the second half, and Leeds 16 points behind. They have to score the first try. Lomax returning the kick. Steve Walters almost overbalances a dummy half, gets it away to Glenn Murphy, who had a fine time in the first half, scoring 2 tries. Here's Walters. He loses the ball in the tackles. He tried to thunder over Marcella, and Harris picks it up. 40 metres out. This is just the start that the Rhinos wanted. Gary Mercer runs to the right. Line deep, goes to Harris. Sheridan standing outside him. Coming from behind us, Hassan, he makes the break. Getting it away to Cummins. Only 20 out. Halfway through their set of 6. Wide pass from Sheridan to Harris. McDermott, halfway through, tackled by Warren.
Runs beautifully into holes for a front rower.
Sheridan keeps it going well. To Blackmore, not far out. Great defence there by Shipway. Last tackle coming up. Can they score this important try? Sheridan tries to stab it through, and Durnam dives on it for the Cowboys. And Gary Hetherington, the chief executive of the Leeds club, joins us. Gary, Dean Bell could not have been happy with that first half. What did he want from them in the second?
Well, much of the same from the last 5 minutes of the first. It was a very disappointing start to the game. For the first 35 minutes, we never really got to the pace of the game. And, of course, Mr. Quietman, number of tackles, more control, less than 50%, and were punished by some slick handling from the Cowboys. The last 2 tries in the first half, and the start of the second half, we got into a bit of rhythm. And certainly the team are quite capable of playing some really good rugby, which you've not really seen yet. So we're hoping that this first period of the second half will bring that.
Gary, those first 2 tries, obviously plenty of confidence back in their step. They really look like they're out to play football.
Well, yes, that's the feature of this team. As I said, we've not really done ourselves justice so far. But we need to get to the pace of the game and to start putting some football together.
Doherty tackle.
And that kind of mistake, Gary's not going to help. Farrell putting it down, which relieves the pressure. Are they having any problem interpreting any of the referee's rulings?
Okay, thank you.
Well, there is a different interpretation with the play the ball and the speed of the play the ball. In England, we're used to having to roll off the tackle, and I think that's caused us 1 or 2 problems. But no, we're not looking for excuses.
Okay, Gary, thanks for joining us. Gary Hetherington, Chief Executive of the Leeds Club. Had a lot to do with setting up the Sheffield club as well. Now really lifting Leeds, who were in the doldrums last year. They lost a lot of key players a couple of seasons back. The likes of Ellery Hanley, Kevin Iro, Gary Schofield, all abandoning Leeds, but they're building their strength up again. Second on the ladder at the moment. Murray Hurst, assistant coach to Tim Sheens with the Cowboys, is now with us. Well, Murray, that was just a brilliant first half. What do you think really was the key to the good performance?
Well, I think our play of the ball was fairly quick for them initially. But as far as our half-time is concerned, we're not real happy. We've had a bit of luck in the first half, and we really haven't played how we rehearsed, and that's what we're disappointed about. But you know, having said that, this team aren't out of the game, and obviously if they come off the line quick like we did, well, we're going to be in trouble.
Well, Tim wouldn't have been too happy with the last 7 or 8 minutes of that half, as he would, I suppose, with the first 5 or 6 of this half.
Well, that's correct. Well, you know, it's two put-downs of the football in the last 7 minutes cost 2 tries. Well, I think it was the last 5 minutes, actually, so 10 points. You know, we don't want a tit-for-tat game, and this is a game where we need to hold the football and really drive it home, and that's going to be the goal, but we've got to hold the football this half, and we haven't done that so far already.
OK, Murray, thanks once again.
Thanks, Roy.
Murray Hurst from the Cowboys. Possession swapping hands early in this second half. Which team's going to settle down best? Harris gets it out to McDermott. And he's slow. He went forward, surely. Farrell on the burst.
Forward. A little bit unfortunate on that occasion. He did very well, and McDermott again running to the edge of the rucks. Around about the 5'8" inside centre area. Got his hands free. Just lost control a fraction. Otherwise, they were in a little bit of strife, the Cowboys.
Blood bin, fellas. Hang on, fellas. There's a blood bin. Get him up. Blood bin, get him up.
Well, it doesn't look to be a terribly bad one. Cunningham's just a touch on the eye, but geez, the doctor will be asking for double time and a half every night, that's for sure.
Martin Locke's the player who comes on for Owen Cunningham. Gary Mercer, not for the first time, disagrees with the referee. Penalty 6-5 in favour of the Cowboys. Oh, big hit coming in. McDermott involved and Morley. Ian Duneman to Peter Jones. Runs straight at Mercer, he takes him. Lomax quickly there to keep it going. Loses it. Play on with Duneman, Andrew Duneman. 5 out. The defence a little stretched for Leeds to this side of the field. Peter Jones inside to Vincent. He steps away from Morley. Away from Farrell. Still going Vincent. 1 to go. Ian Duneman dummy half. In the direction of Jones. Bit of confusion. Warwick keeps it alive though. Duneman puts it up across field. Allowed to bounce. And finally Mercer has it for Leeds. Marcella was pounced on. Duneman was standing right behind him. As soon as he got the ball, he was on his shoulders. Possession favouring North Queensland, 55%, but it has evened up as the game has gone on. Still Leeds much more time in their own half.
Well, that's a little bit better for Leeds. We remember probably halfway through that first half, they were way less than around about 30% of the time spent in the attacking half.
The Rhinos have got 6 more tackles. Blackmore, away! A fullback Vincent coming across at him. Tried to step inside and gets it back to Sterling well. Now they get there to back up. Sterling was the only one. Blackmore's down holding his ankle. Harris gives it to McDermott. Held the pass back beautifully. But no more support. He couldn't have got the pass away anyway, McDermott. It's a great tackle by Murphy and Warwick. Harris to Farrell. Back to Hassan. Meters out. Harris calls for it. Kicks it across field, didn't wait till the last tackle. Lost back by Mercer. Sterling with a chance. Sterling for the corner. And Paul Sterling is in again.
Well, it's probably the only time you'd be very happy. A teammate drops the ball. A little bit of concern as well for one of the Leeds players, as their teammates shorten the gap to just 12 points. Blackmore came up with a wonderful step, getting through to shift the ball down.
Had a great pass.
It was a terrific offload. We've seen some wonderful examples. There's the kick. It was an absolute shocker across field. Went to catch the ball and dropped it to Gary Mercer. Will probably tell us after the game it was a planned move to drop the ball there, but whether it was or not, it certainly put the tourists back into the game.
I still reckon it's one of the best moves you can perform, to lose the ball deliberately if you can manufacture it. Blackmore with problems in the ankle after that great run. That's a tragedy.
The way he was holding it didn't look too flash for him either. But he's been a great player. It will certainly be a shocking loss for them in the second half if they're to get much closer in the scoreline.
They're pegging the lead back. Harris to bring them to within 10 points. And just misses. He's not getting easy shots at goal from the touchlines. 26-14 to North Queensland.
Well, there's the ball that was dropped backwards. Gee, it's funny how mistakes can fire the other way. But both these Leeds wingers, they really look impressive. You're a former big-name winger yourself, Warren. It must be something about those guys. The balance, the way they run with the football, makes them almost impossible to grab.
Just wondering where the winger was on the far side. Because Luke Phillips wasn't in sight. He must have been dragged into the play closer. There's Blackmore with the ankle problem. I made the comment a moment ago, I think if you can manufacture the occasional drop ball and know exactly what you're doing, it sometimes works because the opposition defences are so set that it just throws them right out. They don't know how to handle it. Jones. Martin Locke, chased by Hassan. 30 metres out, fifth tackle. Back to Ian Durnaman. Up towards the post, good looking kick, maybe too deep though. A little too deep, and Gibson took it safely.
I think at times, strange how that things have changed. If that had been put up, that kick midway through the first half, we probably would have seen 5 or 6 Cowboy teammates chasing that ball down. There was just one on that occasion shooting through. Scotty Mann was the only one that looked like getting within Cooey of the ball. Now we see the Leeds fellas standing back. They're very deep. The confidence that's on board this team at the moment has just risen 400 or 500%.
Farrell slips it out the back. Morley has it. He gets it away. Starting to unload passes. Harris wrapped up. Steve Walters and Murphy the tackler. McDermott from a standing start. Just those legs pumping. He's big around the chest and shoulders. Lost it.
Forward, fellas. Forward, Nathan. Forward.
As well as he's played Barry McDermott, these are just the little things that he's played that, well, I think there might have been a little bit of assistance to make sure that ball hit the turf. He could probably make sure that he just runs a little bit harder, runs straighter, and just aims at the holes. That's where he's been most effective.
McDermott leaving the field, but it's not a blood bin this time.
Warren, Jamie Mathau back on the field for Barry McDermott. In the meantime, Richie Blackmore was on the sideline with his ankle in the ice boot. He turned it over in that tackle after he made the good run down the right-hand side of the field, so there has to be some doubt about him getting back into this game.
Meanwhile, the Cowboys are only 25 metres out, looking to try and get back onto the front foot. They've been going backwards since late in the first half. Lomax, 20 out. Steve Walters fires it to Andrew Durnaman, trying to change direction with Warren. He didn't have much time. Slammed by Mercer. Ian Durnaman kicks through, but hanging back there, and lovely footwork by Sterling.
Tell you what, I bet he's very glad that ball didn't bounce. Obviously just trying to trap the players inside the in-goal area. bit of a poor kick on that occasion. I think that's something Tim Sheens will be trying to get a message out to his players. Their kicking in the first half was perfect. They were kicking to areas that just weren't covered by Leeds defenders. Good rucking away at this start. 2 rucks claiming 20 metres of territory.
And with that kick, they really wanted to keep the pressure on Leeds to try and just turn the game around. This arm wrestle that's going on at the moment, but instead it's Leeds on the halfway, and it's Harris running, and he breaks through. Eston Harris through, and oh, there was support in Mercer. Finally, the pass comes out to Gibson. He's knocked over. Solid tackle by Kyle Warren. Sterling dashes away, but Warren's after him. They've used up 5. Harris often getting into first receiver. Sheridan, Hassan, well tackled Scott Mann.
It was a great tackle from Scotty Mann, stopping an opportunity. The ball had been relayed on. There was a chance to post yet another 4-pointer. Murphy runs at Marcus St. Hilaire, who's come onto the field. And plays at fullback. Just wondering where they've got him playing at the moment. Total tackles pretty even now. And missed tackles likewise. Not much in it. This game is starting to become a tight contest. And good defence by Cummins, who's moved into the centre. Duneman under pressure from Collins, got his kick away, and it's a good kick, or is it going to just go too long? Gibson steps away from Mann. Mann told by the referee that he was offside, had to remain 10 metres away. It appears that St. Hilaire is posted on the wing. Marcella.
And Warren, that is the move. Marcus St. Hilaire onto the left wing, and Francis Cummins to the right centre for Richie Blackmore.
It's Mercer. Gets it back inside. Cummins takes the pass. Cummins, the youngest player ever to play at Wembley and score a try in the Challenge Cup final at 94. Current coach Dean Bell chased him for 90 metres. Hassan loses it. Hit the line well in the Jones tackle, but couldn't hold on.
Thanks, mate.
It was a nice little pass that dropped into the gap for him. The problem for him was that he just didn't have the time to catch it, relay it to the left hand, and use the right hand as a fend. Pretty good defence. Jones and some of the forwards, in particular Cunningham, are being called on quite a number of times to slide to the right hand side to cover. Getting caught short.
Got him one. Get him up.
First tackle taken by Duneman. They could have something up their sleeve. Great place to attack from a scrum on the halfway. They keep going left. No, here comes the switch of play. Out from Duneman to brother Ian. Now Vincent trying to find some space, but Leeds had read it well. They were waiting for them to come back.
That's three. That's Jamie.
Jones inside to Mann. Marcella, he saw it coming as well. Good tackle. Lomax plunders a few metres. Still going. Oh.
See you later.
Two, fellas, there was 2 in there.
Gary Mercer came in.
Did he? John? Well, just a quick one. Mate, just get your arm down, eh? Just get your arm down, all right? It looks bad, just get your arm down, okay?
The 2 Kiwis. They've come head-to-head a few times, those 2 tonight.
I tell you, good evening.
I wonder why he got his arm up.
He had to look after himself, Johnny Lomax there, but I've got to be honest, he's very lucky to be running around. That is an arm or an elbow, and it was, well, I'll save myself the $1 million lawsuit. That was a very, very strong fend.
Yeah, I think, to be fair to Johnny Lomax, I don't think he got the point of the elbow around. I think he did lift the forearm back, almost the defensive move. I know he has been set off a few times.
Anyway, the Kiwis, they've reintroduced themselves, and we'll be having a beer after the game.
Haven't those 2 Kiwi bulls, Mercer and Lomax, gone at each other tonight? Luke Phillips. They lead by 12. It's an important kick, and he's missed it. He hasn't had a real good night with a boot, and that could have put them out to a more comfortable margin.
Strangely, the 2 kicks that he's missed have probably been 2 of the easier ones for the night.
12 points the difference, 2 converted tries.
Very important they get a good chasing game in here. They've got to try and trap North Queensland around about 45 metres.
Murphy given some room to move, bringing it back. It was 26-0. Cowboys haven't scored for a while. Reggie Cressbrook's coming on. That's why the crowd are cheering. He's a local hero here, Reggie. Somewhat surprisingly, not starting tonight's game. Andrew Durnaman stepping well. Got his arms up over the top of the tackle.
And there we saw a continuation of the inside ball play with Reggie Cressbrook on the field. You can expect to see that used twice or 3 times as much.
Marcella comes in. Tongan on Kiwi that time. And the ball came loose from Lomax. Mercer cops a slap from Peter Jones and says something to him about it.
And Warren Reggie Cressbrook coming onto the field means he will go to fullback, and Shane Vincent has now gone to the right wing to replace Adam Warwick.
Gary Mercer's got plenty of fire in his belly tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he's doing it very well. He's leading by example. He had to early in the match as we see another 4-pointer.
Steve Walters intercepts, dragged down by Gibson just in time. The Cowboys now full of running. 10 metres out, it's Peter Jones. Comes back to Durnaman. Out to Murphy. The Rhinos desperately trying to get back in defence, get the line in position. Managed to do that. They're short on the left. The Cowboys go to it. Ian Durnaman tried to dance back inside and open up the hole on his left, but the runner didn't come. Jones tackle, 8 metres out. Steve Walters with a fend on Collins. Former Canberra teammates. Out it comes now. Shipway for the line. Mark Shipway scores a try. That's the one North Queensland have been looking for. They haven't scored for a while. That gets them back on top. 30 points to 14.
Yeah, it gets them back on top, courtesy of a John Lomax tip-on. Front rowers aren't supposed to run or be able to handle the ball. There's the thing that cost them so badly, the intercept. The opportunity, Steve Walters just not able to offload. The chance to swing the ball to the left-hand side. Walters once again being trapped. Here's the tip-on ball about to be there. It goes from Lomax. Hardly had chance to get the crease off the ball on his fingers. All he did was get rid of it, provide 4 points in the paper to somebody else. He did very, very well.
So did Shipway.
Once again, we find that mistake in the Leeds territory so vital to their prospects of the game. They hadn't been making too many mistakes in their own half. They've gone into the first 15 or 20 minutes of this second half very well, using common sense.
Only 3 from 7, and now it's 3 from 8 for Phillips. He usually kicks 63% of them, so he hasn't had a good night with a boot. Some beautiful football. You mentioned Johnny Lomax's tip on. Ian Durnaman's quick pass was a beauty just before, but Lomax's was even better. Another blood bin.
Yeah, we're going to have to wash the grass here tomorrow morning.
Scott Malm this time.
He probably picked the blood on his hair a little bit easier this game round too.
They need the Red Cross to get down here, save themselves the trouble of going to a shopping centre. No serious injuries though, thankfully. Hopefully Blackmore's ankle is okay. Marcella winds up. Still 20 minutes to go, 16 points the difference. Leeds not finished yet. Sheridan opens him up, comes down to Cressbrook, stepped inside him. Taken in good cover by Andrew Durnaman.
Once again, the support lacking.
Harris changes direction, trying to link up down the blind. Sterling got behind him, kicks for himself. It's straight to Cressbrook. It wasn't such a bad idea, but the kick was poorly executed. He needed it deeper and more to the corner. Phillips has come away from the wing to get involved in the play.
Warren Birchibui has come on the field for Scott Martin while he's in the blood bin. And for Leeds, Andy Hay has come on for Adrian Morley. They've now made 4 changes. The North Queensland Cowboys just 2.
And more flexibility up the sleeve of Tim Sheen still, but not so for Dean Bell. Just about crunch time in this game. The Cowboys motor down to 25 out. Steve Walters, he can't get away. He's tried a couple of times. Pass goes behind Cunningham. He steps through one. May have gone forward. Play on. Intercepted.
Off the Cowboys, that's 1.
Well, there's some tight Leeds fellas out there. Just missed out on posting another try there, the North Queensland Cowboys. But the Leeds players at the moment, you could have thrown a towel over them about 20 or 30 seconds ago. They're starting to feel the effects of the long flight out, I guess, now. Not suggesting for one moment that they're about to put up the white flag, but they really are struggling to keep in the pace of the game.
As Gibson brings it away. Last tackle coming up. Morley gets the kick downfield, but straight to Crestbrook. Even though he misses it, he had plenty of field to kick to, and it was straight to the fullback. Good footwork, though, from Reggie Crestbrook as he brings it back. Phillips comes around from the wing, takes it off the dummy half. Runs nicely, gives it away to Vincent. Vincent trying to turn his winger St. Hilaire inside out. That's a fine run. Jones quickly there at dummy half. Walters looms up. Back to Jones. On the ground for Walters, a little luckily. Kyle Warren now. The defence is thin. They're dragging back onside the Rhinos. Inside pass for Cunningham. Only 10 out. Good ball from Walters. Still trying to get back onside the Rhinos. And Birchibui goes for it. And Birchibui has scored a try. He's only been on the field a couple of minutes. And the 23-year-old from Rockhampton joining the Cowboys this year. He's played in the back line, he's played in the forwards. Mostly he's played in reserve grade or off the bench. He'll remember this try.
Just simple power. Just too big. Lining up against Ryan Sheridan. It had to really come apart the Rhinos' defence. They were stretched all over the paddock. It wasn't going to be too much of a problem, but the break came from about 30 seconds earlier. Phil Hassan was the guy that moved in off his wing to allow a golden opportunity down the sideline. It's vital mistakes like that that have kept the Leeds Rhinos out of the game. They've matched up man for man in their defensive patterns, but every now and then they just got caught short. A man coming in off the wing or one of the centres deciding just to chop in and try and grab a man earlier. And they're using it man for man so skillfully, it's just impossible.
Luke Phillips has got one on target this time. They'll be much happier with that. And that could well be the match winner, that try. 36-14, hard to see Leeds getting out of this now. Still 15 minutes to go, but they'll need something extraordinary.
Yeah, I think it's game, set, and match here. With all due respect to the Leeds guys, they're certainly going to do their very best. And I think while we're talking about them, we've got to turn the slate over and have a look at North Queensland. Tim Sheens would have sent out a couple of messages to his players that what they're trying to do now is get their game plan down perfect. They had it for the first half. They budgeted up 5 minutes, 10 minutes to go in the first half, and it was a bit shonky for the early part of the second half. You want to make sure that he gets that game pattern down mistake-free.
Tim Sheens would be ecstatic if they go on to win this without Ian Roberts. He hasn't used Tyron Smith. He's given a couple of guys a run in this game. They've come up trumps for him.
Well, Warren, somebody he's giving a rest at the moment is the former captain, Steve Walters. He's been replaced uninjured on the sideline, and John Scarton has gone onto the field for the North Queensland Cowboys.
The time in their own half by Leeds, 62% of the time. There's Steve Walters. Missed last week with a groin strain. Back this week and in fine form. Good kick through. Harris has it. Winger unmarked. He puts the kick ahead for St. Hilaire. Phillips coming from the far wing. It's winger on winger, and Phillips does it. Great tackle from Luke Phillips from the far wing. What anticipation.
Well, there's some classic skill involved in all of that. Let's not just wrap up the cover defending tackle, which was a beauty. Hands over opportunity. But gee, there was some speed coming across, and he wasn't the only cover defender coming across, Luke. There was 2 or 3 others that were all working out there, but the chip kick, the chasers, the ball bounced the wrong way. Finally, the ball bounced the right way for the Rhinos. But it's a situation for them, I suppose, that they've got to take chances. We saw a chip kick in the middle of the field where they looked like North Queensland had it fairly comfortably covered.
It showed what a cool head Weston Harris has to have the presence of mind to slot that kick through for the winger. Back it comes, and Cunningham sees some space. Slips it away to Shipway. Out to Phillips. 6 more tackles. Play on. Phillips suddenly finds himself in the action, whether he's starting tries from one end or making covering tackles from the other.
I think they're playing a pretty smart game, the North Queensland Cowboys, at the moment. They're deciding to throw the ball wide. They know that the Englishmen are really struggling.
High shot. Got a high tackle. Number 15.
Bill Hassan, the man called. I think he handled that fairly well, the referee, Stephen Clark. He didn't try and highlight the incident and make it sound like a shocker. He did fairly well, but getting back to, they're running the ball all over the place. That's where the Leeds crowd are just trying to find it a little bit tough to match at the moment. Running from one side of the field to the other. When you're that far behind, 22 points on the scoreboard.
Oh, here come the Cowboys again. John Scarton out there. Ian Durnaman gets it to Murphy. Ian Durnaman goes to dummy half. John Scarton wants to get in there. Lomax to Murphy, to Scarton. He broke his jaw in the pre-season. This is his first run in first grade this year. Durnaman inside to Peter Jones. Once again, they're hungry for a try. Murphy's already got 2. Pass was a bit hopeful to Scarton. And Leeds have got it through Morley. Harris tries to scoot away, gets it back to Mercer.
See, hasn't he put in an effort tonight?
Yeah, he has worked hard. Steve Walter's ready to come back again.
That's a long break. We'll be very happy about that.
It's Barry McDermott, one of the better players for Leeds. Leeds will be disappointed at this performance and at this loss because they're in the right pool to have made it through. They're in Pool B of the Euro League sides, and that really gave them the opportunity because they're amongst otherwise weaker sides than the Euro League, so they had every opportunity to go through, but this loss could cost them. Oh, mistake made by the Cowboys as Pressbrook threw the pass out to Phillips. Wasn't quite there for him. Still good to see them ready to run the ball back. I thought probably should have caught that.
I think Reggie Pressbrook thought so too. Durnaman coming off the field. I think they've got 2 very, very good attacking players. Both only young fellas as well. Andrew just 20 years of age. His older brother, 18 months I think he is. Further down the track.
Well, Jason Ferris is injured at the moment, the former Canberra half. He's going to have a hard time getting back into this side. John Doyle's on suspension.
An interesting play there. We just saw a scrum pack down without the prop forward. He moved to 5'8" and decided that he was going to run the ball into the fence. Actually line up against McDermott.
Gary Mercer heading for the posts. Referee right over the ruck. Collins looks for McDermott.
That's 4. I called 4, you kept driving him. Yeah, kept 4 and you kept driving him. It wasn't you, it was the other one. I just kept pushing.
I think that's a charity penalty, that one.
Harris. Holroyd's on. Back to Harris. He ran behind Marcella.
Line, Cowboys line.
He ran alongside him at least. Sheridan on the burst is Hay. Good work, but equally good tackle from Shipway. Mercer still foraging away for a try to Sterling. He can't hang on to it. Cunningham was about to cut him down, and the ball goes loose.
Well, he provided the opportunity, Mercer. he probably could have scored the try himself had he have held on.
I think Sterling knew he was about to be hammered and started to worry about that as much as catching the ball. Lomax gets it away to Scarden. On to Jones. Oh.
Good forward.
Well,
Not much in it.
I think we'll let you people make up your mind on the video replay on this one.
That was all right. I would have thought that was all right. Peter Jones out wide in this second half.
That's out.
Harris at 5'8" this time, gives it to Hassan. Kept McDermott in the scrum for that one. There is McDermott. Back to Collins. Collins shows good speed to Sinclair. St. Hilaire comes down and Crestwood makes the tackle. 10 out though. They go to the left through Gibson. He dives for the line, fighting to get it down. Damien Gibson.
Tell you what, he's done remarkably well.
He got the ball down.
He's done remarkably well to get there. When he ran the ball, I
thought he'd gone the wrong way for a start.
I was about to call him a version of a donkey. But he did extremely well. Obviously wanting to post a try against his old teammates. Trying to scramble in the corner. The defender's falling off. The real trouble is, I think, whether he actually grounded the ball.
Steve Walters trying to hold him.
Happy days.
That's a reward for Gibson.
Tell you what, he's done remarkably well to score from that angle. He only had half a metre to work in.
Good effort by the 22-year-old. There's confirmation of the try. Well, Leeds were waiting, stretched to the right-hand side. He took the odds to it. He backed himself down a very narrow blind, got rid of a tackler, and then fought out of the Steve Walters tackle.
Well, there's the room that he had to move in, probably 2 or 3 metres. As he come on upon the defenders, he had half a metre. Real strength being shown on that occasion.
He was actually the first ever try scorer for North Queensland, and now he's got one against them. Harris, another tough kick, bring it around nicely, and it's there. Beautifully judged kick. Once again from the sideline, 36-20 to North Queensland, but only 7 minutes to go.
Gee, he keeps impressing me, this kid Harris. I mean, he's not as if he's just come out of the junior grades. He's had a couple of years, but the raps that he's had on him over the last number, the way that he seems to run the ball, he gives himself time and space every time he casts the ball.
Shipwave's got it from the Cowboys as Leeds went for the short kick. Sterling tackles him from behind. Well, Leeds trying to get the ball back. Wasn't to be. Here's Jones. He's had a strong game. Gets it to Walters. Should have passed Steve Walters. Now he does. Shipwave puts it down.
Yeah, I think he hit the nail on the head there. I believe he had 2 unmarked teammates on the outside that possibly were a fair chance of planting the ball. But another mark on the mistake pad.
Tim Sheens apparently said that...
He's coming on through. You in the headgear, he's replacing you.
So buoy off, Warren on.
Yeah. Get one of the balls, get rid of one of the balls, mate. Get rid of that one, Emily.
Tim Sheens apparently said that he didn't give the captaincy back to Steve Walters when Ian Roberts was out because he wants Steve Walters to concentrate on his own game, get it back to his brilliant best. Walters has gone himself plenty of times tonight. Maybe that's his way of getting it all back together again. Not that he's been playing badly by any means. Just hasn't been quite at his best this season. McDermott.
Gee, he's got great footwork for a big bloke.
Hassan, you wonder how Barry McDermott's not playing test football all the time.
I don't remember Sam Bacco using side steps like that.
Coach, start ball.
Harris quickly looks for touch, finds it. 5 minutes to go. Can Leeds pull something special out here? Matthew. one of the Australians involved for Leeds. Holroyd, Hassan. No way through for Cummins. Defence sweeping up on him. Hassan from dummy half. Holroyd's out there calling the shots now. Very skillful player, Graham Holroyd. Gets it out to Sheridan. Inside looking for McDermott. Sterling.
That pass from Leeds went forward. Leeds went forward. I was playing the advantage, see if they got it. They didn't. Cowboys, please. It was a Leeds forward pass.
Well, they've had a number of black spots.
Cowboys.
There's the pass, probably been about 10 or 15 centimetres forward. The referee calling it correctly. One or two of the spots that I believe have been a shining light for Leeds tonight is the depth in their back line. Whenever they run of an attacking play, they're standing back 25 to 30 metres and really charging onto the ball. It's something you don't see a lot of in today's attacking game. They tend to attack from fairly flat and try and turn players inside all night long.
Now Kyle Warren getting out wide. There are plenty of players who play back row or centre. They're very mobile. Quite a few of the North Queensland boys. McDermott and Walters come to grips. Game punctuated by errors. North Queensland making quite a few in the second half. 15 errors in total for the Cowboys. Leeds with 13 handling errors.
Both ways.
There's another one to add to the totals. Leeds have tightened up in the second half.
Well, the Doctors are going to get their work tonight. A game that's also been punctuated by trips to the blood bin.
John Scarden injured here as he fell underneath the tackle of Andy Hay.
Interesting to see what role he's been pushed into by coach Tim Sheens.
They're just feeling the jaw of John Scarden. He did break it pre-season. I hope he's all right. Looks okay.
He was an ex-Gold Coast Seagulls player a number of years ago. Played 5'8" in centre. Very strong player from the Queensland country.
Get in there, Barry.
Mercer picks it up at lock forward. Kyle Warren is out there quickly. Sheridan switches it to Harris. Goes deep for Gibson. Another handling error that is marring this otherwise entertaining game. Cowboys particularly have thrown the ball around well.
Players just simply hitting the ground, probably just trying to make sure that, well, maybe just a little bit of assistance.
Scarden, one off the scrum. There he is, involved twice, gets it to Cresbrook. Hassan comes in strongly.
I've seen more moves off the scrum play and also in backline play in this game than I think I've seen in half a dozen other games combined.
Called in 3 times.
Inside the 10 metres.
Which is a great thing for rugby league. The more they attack, the more entertaining the game becomes. That's certainly what this game has been. Been very open, admittedly plenty of mistakes, but they certainly haven't ran the ball one out.
Glenn Murphy quickly there to take the tap and not far out. And Leeds backs to the wall once more. Andrew Durneman shopping on the ground for Scarden. Picked up by Cresbrook. Oh, he needed support. He might go all the way. He has. Richie Cresbrook. He was looking for support. There was no one home. So he just kept on going himself, stumbling and dragging them towards the line and got there. Well, they've cracked the 40 points.
This will sting, Leeds. We mentioned before about sometimes how a mistake can be very beneficial. There was a mistake. Andrew Durneman coming up with it. A powerful charge from Cresbrook. Very strong runner, always hits holes. Charging to the line. It's finding it a little bit difficult for Marcus St. Hilaire to drag him down. Once he got the spot of that chalk in his eyes, decided he was going to grab it. He's certainly an entertaining player, one that North Queensland have found very beneficial. And like you, I guess I've got to admit that I was a little bit surprised to see him start on the reserves bench.
Phillips close to the post. adds 2 more, so it becomes a little embarrassing once more for Leeds. They may be second in the Euro League, but tonight they've got the hammering from North Queensland. They got back into it late in the first half, early in the second half, made a contest of it, but now the Cowboys have skipped away once more. Reggie Cressbrook, another player who joined the Cowboys, one of the originals back in '95. Hay brings it back a little tentatively.
So just 2 or 3 tackles to go in the match. Probably the only one pleased about that, besides the Leeds players, is the jockey on the horse going around the outside. He's had enough.
The Leeds meet Adelaide in their next World Club Challenge clash. North Queensland meet Oldham and Salford. So North Queensland in with a chance in this World Club Challenge of going through to the quarterfinals. And they'll be very happy. Tim Sheens, I think, will be very happy with that. Without Ian Roberts on the field in particular, but the style of football, they threw it around, and that shows that the combinations coming together. They struggled early in the season really to move the ball in the back line in particular, but that is coming together for the Cowboys. This young back line, average age about 21, and that'll really give them some heart. They've put away Leeds.
It will give them a lot of confidence on board. Tim Sheens, I guess, won't go overboard in his praise of his team. He said a lot of things out there tonight I believe he'll be able to work on, not just in this World Club Challenge, but also, of course, in the Premiership race. Be fairly happy about that. John Lomax led by example tonight, and he did a pretty good job. Gave his teammates plenty of time in difficult situations with the referee. I believe that the general public here tonight also be very appreciative of both teams on the paddock, not just their home boys.
Martin Locke and Wayne Collins there, they both played at the South Queensland Crushers together. Gary Mercer throwing some water over his face. He can hold his head high.
There's a guy that certainly earned his pay. Gary Mercer.
Yeah, but North Queensland in with a chance in this World Club Challenge because Oldham and Salford are both in the bottom half of the Euro League table. So after beating Leeds here, who should have been their most difficult opposition, they could win all 3 and really make a splash for the season. Let's go down to Warren Smith.
Well, I'm with Gary Mercer. Gary, Leeds captain tonight. They really blew you away in that first half, didn't they?
Yes, I mean, we were disappointed in our inside defence. We just didn't slide and cover the holes on the inside, and Cowboys capitalised and they scored good tries. I mean, come out better. Okay, late in the first half, we scored a couple of tries, but, you know, we struggled a bit with the heat, but, you know, the boys are positive. We come back, scored some tries, and, you know, give all the boys credit, I think.
Was the pace of the game different to what you've been playing in the Euro League?
I think not as quick. I believe it's just as quick, but I feel that we just didn't do enough around the play level. We didn't turn them on their backs. We didn't slow them down, and we didn't take advantage of that, and they capitalised and scored tries.
You've got Adelaide next week. They've been in good form as well in patches.
Yes, it's going to be tough, and I knew it was going to be tough coming to Australia, you know, but the boys are enjoying it. Okay, we got taught a lesson here tonight, but we'll come away with positive things at training and just keep going forward.
The London Broncos struggled last night with the refereeing interpretation in the Australasian Super League. How did you find it tonight with Steve Clark?
I thought he did a great job. Personally, you know, he controlled the game well. He spoke to the boys, and, you know, I was pretty happy with him myself.
You mentioned the heat. This warm temperature up here in Townsville was a factor, you feel?
No, not really. I mean, the boys, it is warm, but, I mean, we're professional, fully played professional. We should be fit, and whether it's cold or hot, we should be able to perform.
Good effort.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Thanks, mate.
I wouldn't say it was hot here or even warm, but it was a little bit muggy, more humid than the Englishmen would be used to. Let's take a look at the stats. 42-20, the scoreline. Overall tackles made, evened up. Missed tackles, just a few more by Leeds. Possession favouring North Queensland. Time in their own half. That was the killer. 61% of the time Leeds were in their own half, and it was even worse in the first half.
Yeah, they sure were. They choked themselves in that first half, but that's what footy's all about. You put pressure on the team. We've got Warren Smith with a fairly happy captain.
Well, Johnny Lomax, it was an impressive first half performance from your side tonight.
Yeah, well, you know, a few things come up from us really, really well. You know, we put a lot of pressure on them in the first half, and as it was, we got the bounce of the ball, and as I said, mate, some of those passes really stuck, and we fell into the gaps. And we got some tries. It was pretty disappointing in aspects. We fell down in areas we really wanted to improve on, but obviously we can go back to the drawing board. It's going to be pretty tough for the English teams to come over here, and obviously vice versa once we go over there. So we really need to get off to a good start in the World Club Challenge.
Were you surprised how easily they opened up in that first half?
Well, I suppose they were probably a little bit surprised how quick we wanted to play the game. They thought we were a lot more defence orientated, but we really wanted to get up and play the ball quick, and we really wanted to attack them as much as we could, and put a lot of pressure on them when they had the ball. So, I suppose we got them by, on the back foot a little bit.
It was an early try against you in the second half. Is there any danger of going to sleep there?
Oh, not really, mate. No, we're pretty focused when we come out. Obviously they got the bounce of the ball in that situation. It was a pretty crucial try for us. We were pretty disappointed about it. But we had a call all week. It was an area we fell down, and that the last couple of weeks, we'd score a try, and then vice versa, they'd come back straight away. So it was an area we wanted to improve on, and I thought we did fairly well in that. But as it was, we were disappointed after the first half. But it was a great victory for us.
You've got Oldham and Southford in the next 2 weeks. This victory tonight really gives you a great chance of finishing on top of Pool B if you can keep the form up.
Well, I suppose it'll just open the eyes up for Oldham and Salford a little bit. Obviously we've got to stick to our game a little bit more. We fell away from it a little bit. Areas in the second half we fell away disappointingly. So Tim's going to resurrect those hopefully in the next couple of days, and we can come out and have another good game next weekend.
Well played tonight.
Thanks, Warren.
Good luck next week.
8 tries to 4, 42 points to 20. The Cowboys victorious, and that means that the Australasian Super League teams have had 3 wins so far over the Euro League teams. That's it from Stockland Stadium. On behalf of Wally Lewis, Warren Smith and myself, Warren Boland, and all the Fox Sports crew, goodbye for now.